Headline news most affecting Chilliwack this week. Two Chilliwack men are now $8 million richer. While masks can be dropped, there remains criticism over the federal rules on vaccination cards. Pothole repair and rip-rap replacement continues in Chilliwack. And Cultus Lake's Reece Howden is on top of the podium once again. Our special guest this week includes UFE physics professor Dr. Tim Cooper. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. And our top story. Last week, the Provincial Health Officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, announced that masking rules will be immediately dropped in most cases, and proof of vaccination cards will be phased out by April the 8th. Now, masks are still required in medical facilities and courthouses. On the heels of this announcement, Chilliwack Hope MP Mark Strahl renewed his criticism that the federal rules on vaccinations for employees be dropped, as his Conservative Party is finding them discriminatory. The Agassi Rosedale Bridge has long been a traffic bottleneck, and during last November's floods, when Highway 1 was flooded out in Abbotsford, that bridge and Highway 9 became the alternate route. But the bridge needs to be widened or replaced or twinned to accommodate 4 lanes and a dedicated pedestrian walkway as well as a cycle path. That's the reasoning behind a change.org petition to the province. Now, constructed back in 1956, it recently underwent some seismic upgrades, but nothing was done to improve the safety features. Last year, chillTV told you about Chilliwack author Stacey Chomiak. She released a gay Christian coming-of-age book called Still Stace, and Still Stace is now a finalist for a 2021 Forward Indie Award juvenile nonfiction. These are books intended to teach readers about real things, places, or people. They're presented, and we quote, in such a way as to be easily understood by young readers aged 6 to 12, and the prize winners will be announced in June. Last Saturday morning, Kent Harrison Search and Rescue were called to assist the Mounties in locating a lost 12-year-old boy who became separated from his mom. The pair were hiking in the Chehalis Delta area the previous day, and that's when they became lost. They spent the night in the bush. They were able to make a fire. So at dawn, the boy left his mom to try and find his way back to the vehicle. That's because she required the medication, which was in the vehicle. When he didn't return, the mom attempted to make her way out by crossing the waist-deep Chehalis River. She arrived at a residence on the Chehalis Reserve, some 2 kilometers from where she had spent the night. Band members took care of her until an ambulance arrived. 13 Kent Harrison SAR members, along with the police dog and the handler, were about to enter the bush when the band members found the lost boy near the Chehalis River. He was cold and wet, but otherwise, he's in good shape. You have no doubt noticed the plumes of smoke. Spring burning season for the city of Chilliwack started March the 1st, rolls until April the 30th. It allows for the burning of vegetative debris on agricultural land. So before you apply for a burning permit, try to consider alternatives to reduce the pollution and the fire risk, like chipping or composting. The potholes at Island 22 have been, for the most part, graded and filled in, but boaters beware. Some areas of Island 22's boat launch have been blocked to allow the repair work and silt removal. 2 areas are available for launching. River conditions are changing, and launch conditions are right now very soft, so the city is not only working at Island 22, but they're also working the pothole problem at Gill Bar off Gill Road. About 210 meters of rock armoring, or riprap, have recently been installed along the Fraser River just downstream from the Camp Hope intake. That completes a multi-year, multi-phase Fraser River erosion protection project. Now, as part of the Chilliwack flood response plan, this rock armoring actually stabilizes the riverbank to protect it from heavy river flows, and we saw that last fall. The $900,000 project actually started in 2019, but last November's flooding stepped up that process. One of the spring rituals that we have all been missing due to the pandemic are the Girl Guides selling the infamous cookies. They've already been on sale in Yarrow and Agassi and Harrison at $5 a box. Chocolate and vanilla are sold in the spring. The chocolate mints are available in the fall, and downtown Chilliwack will see the Girl Guides sometime in early April. Somebody bought a Lotto 649 ticket in Chilliwack on March the 9th that was worth $8 million. While it was initially tough to keep the news to themselves, BC Lotteries announced that the winners were an uncle and nephew, John and Travis Bonner. So what are they going to do? Well, we're going to have a big barbecue and perhaps buy a vehicle or 2. rather brisk breeze didn't deter some 20 protesters from holding a climate awareness rally with a twist. This was organized by the Chilliwack Global Climate Strike. It was part rally in front of MP Mark Strahl's office and part street theater. And one of the speakers was UFV physics professor emeritus Dr. Tim Cooper. chillTV had a conversation with him about the rally and his upcoming debate with the former Chilliwack MLA and Chilliwack Mayor Don Lehn. Here's that interview. chillTV's News of the Week, and continuing a conversation we started quite some time ago with Dr. Tim Cooper, who is a physics professor emeritus at the UFV. And sir, this past weekend there was a rally, a climate change rally, and also street theater in front of the office of Chilliwack Hope MP Mark Strahl. What was this exactly trying to do when it comes to climate change? I know that the Conservatives have their agenda. Mark Strahl has had his opinions on climate change. Now, there was a petition involved, so can you run through what this was all about and why the street theater?
I certainly can. The organization behind all this is called 350.org, which is an organization coming out of the United States. And they got the name 350.org from one of the reports of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which was showing that the safe level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 350 parts per million. My parents were born when it was about 280 parts per million. So that's the safe level has gone up. Today it's about 420 parts per million, which is somewhat disturbing. But anyway, that's the group. The organizers were Susie Coulter, who's the actual main organizer. We had Erin Coulter and DJ Pohl were the other main movers and shakers in the group. I was actually a little bit of a parasite there. I just came along, gave a short presentation, and then moved out. But the idea is to say we need a just transition. One of the problems with shutting down the oil and gas industry is that there are workers involved. And so each time an attempt is made to shut the industries down and move to clean energy, the cry goes out, jobs, jobs, jobs. Now, in practice, there aren't that many jobs there, but they're very vocal. So a just transition is the countermove, if I can call it that, to say, well, these guys could certainly find equally good jobs in clean energy. And in fact, there's a group called Iron and Earth, which consists of oil and gas workers that want to move to clean energy. They want to make the government to make the transition more smooth. So the booth was set up in such a way as to imitate a job fair almost for the oil and gas workers. So, and that is what's being asked for. So the oil and gas workers would go to some central place, probably in the real world on the web, and have access to jobs in oil and gas. So in renewable energy. Yeah. So that's essentially the idea, just to show how easy it is.
Since that rally, though, there's been a couple of interesting stories that have come out, one of which is First Nations being very concerned that they are not, again, in the loop when it comes to the TMX, but also some stories in the States because of the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, and we're watching, of course, gas prices go through the roof, that maybe, just maybe, President Joe Biden should revisit Keystone. Your thoughts on that? Is that a great idea, or is that the worst thing possible?
Well, I'm going to say I hope he doesn't. We're at a point where when fossil fuels get expensive, that stimulates people to move to renewable energy and ways around it. At home, I've just had a heat pump put in, just finished 2 days ago. So I'm not going to be using natural gas. Nobody needs to. I've been driving an electric car for 5 years. I've saved $8,000 on gasoline over that time. Nobody really needs oil and gas if they really push it, except if you're a trucker, because we don't have the electric trucks yet. So high prices stimulate change. So I think it would be a step in the wrong direction.
Speaking of the prices and the charge and how long a charge can last, there's still the naysayers saying that EVs great for maybe a short run, but for long trips and especially for the trucking industry, maybe EV is not a good idea. Can you address that?
Yes, I drive a very old EV. It's actually practically an antique now at 2015 when it was manufactured. It's an antique because its range is so short compared to anything that's new. If you buy a new vehicle like a Hyundai Kona or a Chevy Bolt, its range is about 415 kilometers. So you can go from Chilliwack to Vancouver and back quite comfortably. You can almost do it twice. So it really isn't a range issue anymore. There are also plenty of fast charging stations along the way, so even if you did want to go further, you can do it. Yes, if you work in Edmonton and you live in Chilliwack, an EV might not be your best commuter vehicle, but seriously, not many people do that. Canada may be a large country, but we're chunky. We have little communities that are tight together. For tracking, there's no solution yet. Short-range trucks are available, good for 200 kilometers range, and it turns out half of the trucks that are on the road can get by with a 200-kilometer range. So it's doable. The trucks are coming with ranges up to 800 kilometers, but the battery shortage is preventing manufacturing of them just yet.
We are definitely going to be continuing this conversation. And also, you have an upcoming debate, which will be appropriately on Earth Day, and that's April the 22nd here on chillTV. You and former Chilliwack MLA, former Mayor, former Attorney General John Lehn, and this will be presented by Zacharias Vickers, LLP.
Welcome back to Sports, everyone. It's Josh here again. As always, we have got a lot to get into, so let's just jump right into it. As promised last week, we're going to begin today with Reece Howden's race results from Austria. Of course, Cultus Lake's Pride and Joy finished 9th at the Beijing Olympics and was competing this past weekend in the penultimate event of the Ski Cross World Cup season in Rosedale, Austria. I got a lot of European words I got to get through in this one, so bear with me. In the men's final, Reese got off to a very quick start and was able to build a gap through the first sector, a gap he would hold all the way through to the finish line. So it's gold for Reese and his first podium since a bronze medal in Italy this past December. But believe it or not, this was actually his first race win of the 2021-2022 season, after winning the World Cup title last season as the world's top racer. The relief was evident as Reese told the CBC, quote, "It's been a long pull for me this year and a tough road, but I figured some things out today and I want to remember this, keep on trucking, and build the confidence back up." Reese will look to continue that momentum into the season finale this week in Vaccination, Switzerland. And while he is a little too far back in the standings to be able to actually defend his title, he will be looking forward to one of the most unique events on the calendar, the Red Bull Super Ski Cross event in Andermatt, Switzerland, coming up later this month on the 26th. Where a zany multi-path track always produces wild action. You definitely want to check that out. And as always, we're going to keep you up to date on Reese's results as we move forward. Congrats to him again on gold this past weekend. Congratulations are also in order for the Unity Christian Single A boys basketball team as they won their division at the BC Boys High School Basketball Championships in Langley. Unity came into the tournament as the #1 seed, and in the final, they faced the #2 seed, Victoria's Glen Lyon Norfolk Griffins. Down 21-13 after the first quarter, the Unity Flames exploded in the second quarter, no pun intended, which saw them score 35 points on a ridiculous 58% shooting. Steph Curry would be proud, to seize control of the game and eventually rout their opponents 89-71. So congrats to the boys over at Unity. Unbelievable job, guys. As we discussed last week with Bruce Renwick, the BC Seniors Provincial Curling Championship is on this week at the Chilliwack Curling Club, featuring prominent current BC champions Brent Pierce and Marianne Arsenault, among other huge names in the sport. Admission is free, yes, free, and the draw details are on the Chilliwack Curling Club social media, and the finals, if you're interested, will be on Sunday. Lots of congratulations in order this week, as we are also celebrating the Chilliwack Hawks U13 field lacrosse team and their win at the provincial finals in Langley. Head coach Dylan Crooks told chillTV that with COVID and the weather, the young team had to fight through a lot of challenges this season, so this victory is extra sweet. Their outdoor season runs from fall to spring, and if you're interested in joining, or you have kids who are interested, they are now recruiting volunteers and players for the coming fall season, so definitely check them out. Chilliwack FC has announced that the club has successfully achieved its Quality Soccer Provider designation in line with Canada Soccer's National Youth Club Licensing Program. among meeting a number of important standards. In order to achieve this designation, clubs must fulfill the requirements of Canada Soccer's Safe Sport roster, which was unanimously adopted at the 2019 Canada Soccer annual meeting of the members. Chilliwack was among 18 BC-based clubs included in this announcement, and Chilliwack FC's Andrea Lecoq told chillTV that this designation will go a long way to promoting the team and its profile. In fact, we're going to have an interview with Andrea right here next week on chillTV, so be sure to tune into that. Finally, sticking with soccer, Jordan Huitema and the Canadian women's national soccer team will be in BC for 2 international friendlies versus Nigeria on April 8th in Vancouver and April 11th in Victoria. To see the reigning Olympic champions in person, visit soccercanada.com for tickets and all the information. That is going to be an unbelievable event. And that's all we got for sports today. We got through all those European names. I'm very proud of myself. Thanks always for watching. Up next, we have got Don with the weather.
chillTV weather, the first day of spring is this Sunday, March the 20th, and it will be wet and mild. Weekend highs near 10. If you'd like to participate in reporting news in Chilliwack and you have a story you think we should know about, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. We'd love to hear from you. That's the news this week. Happy St. Paddy's Day. I'm Don Lehn.